I'm a liar.
If you've seen my last art desk tour video, or if you see me on TikTok, then you would know that my main goal for my house would be to look like a witch from a children's book or a gift shop museum. Basically, the house from Paddington is my dream house, but for now, I can only decorate the 4 walls of my bedroom. In other words, it's time to heavily relate to the fact that Rapunzel was painting every single inch of her room during isolation.
It is now November, and hopefully it will still be November by the time I post this. I don't think it will, because I think I have delusions of grandeur. Back in September, around my birthday, I had posted a video about my art desk, so my art desk tour video, where I had told myself and others that I would finish my little gallery wall thing hopefully by October. I lied to myself and to others. I committed a sin. My birthday portrait thing was pre-recorded and it was scheduled to post on my birthday no matter what, and it did, because literally the day of my birthday there was a hurricane and the power was gone for multiple days. I lost count of how long I was without power. It was a while, and that kind of delayed me on certain things. And I really thought in the back of my mind that because I wasn't going to be doing Inktober, Drawloween, any of those art challenges this year, that I would have October sort of free enough to do some personal work. That did not work out. I had promised myself that I was going to use August and September to work on portfolio pieces, and I did. I did pretty much all of the ones that I had originally planned out, except for 2, because I just kind of lost my motivation to work on those. And I think I had enough full spread illustrations for now. I mostly focused on book covers and all that. I will be making another video about those because some of them are related to my old fairy tale sketchbook video that I made ages ago that I said I would try to recreate some. I'll show those eventually. Anyway, point is, I was completely delayed in terms of my own internal scheduling. Also, I got a job.
Wow.
And that means that pretty much everything that I had sort of planned for my gallery wall took the back burner, because literally it's not important. It's not important. It's a space in my wall that fills me with a weird sense of dread and rage because it is completely blank compared to the rest of my room, and that just does not give me any of the energy that I am hoping to get. But it is really unimportant. It's literally my bedroom. No one is in here except me, so I don't really need to finish it right now. I would just like to. However, I do have some news on this little update. Will it be posted this month? Probably not. All of this is to say that last week I kind of went into a weird zone where I just wanted to work on the painting instead of doing the things that I should have actually been doing. So in an effort to procrastinate, I painted 5 paintings.
Wow.
That are not in any way related to what I had originally planned for the gallery wall. My original plan for the gallery wall was to be sort of paintings of myself and master copies, because I wanted it to have like a museum vibe, which is kind of the whole point of this room, if we're gonna be completely honest. However, I hadn't painted on canvas in a really long time, and I kept stalling when I did have time to work on my little wall because I thought it was gonna look ugly and I was gonna get frustrated and I was gonna abandon it. And in my weird moment of mania, I don't know what else to call it, I suddenly painted 5 in the span of 3.5 days. So now I sort of have more of a plan on what I'm doing. I actually made a mock-up because I'm insane, counting the little spaces that are already filled with things, so like where my embroidery hoop is, so it's not a perfect square. And I looked up how big each individual canvas was, because some of them are the same size, others vary, and then I made like a little mock-up. So what I'm going to do is, hopefully, if I'm not burnt out and exhausted for the rest of the month, because I get these little ideas in my head and I think about them consistently throughout my life until I finish them. None of them are portraits except for the ones that are going to be in the big canvas. We have canvases that are around this shape, size, and then we have like the bigger boys. They're not necessarily large canvases, but in this situation, they're the biggest ones I have, and I'm not gonna paint any larger than that. I haven't decided what master copies I'm going to be copying for this scenario, but since I already knocked out 5 individual pieces that were just made up in my head, I'm really thinking of looking into my art history folders and picking some that I think I can sort of put myself in, and I'm gonna paint those throughout the month. I have no idea when I'm gonna finish that, but I'm finally re-excited about my little project. So that's that. I don't know, I'm excited. I'm excited. Will it be more work for myself than it needs to be? Yes, it will. But will it be pretty? Honestly, who's to say? Because I could paint something really ugly right now. This is the aforementioned wall. We have the embroidery hoops, so it's not a perfect rectangle. There's more space over here. This is the main space that I really want to cover up, mainly because I originally wanted to do a mural here. I did mention this in the art desk tour video, but I am too short, and it's so much easier to just put some tape on some canvases and just smack them into the wall than it is to design a mural and put it there. Even though I did have a good little doodle, that's gone. As long as I have a general idea of what the math is, we can go on from there. Now, this isn't the most aesthetically pleasing setup I could have possibly done, but the lighting isn't really good, so we're doing this on my art desk. I had originally really wanted to focus on filming myself painting all of these paintings for like a good long video, but if we're gonna be completely honest, painting me is Smeagol. Painting me is that little shrimp that they show on TikTok, shrimp posture. Painting me is not aesthetically pleasing, unlike this room, so. And like I said before, the lighting setup isn't really the best here because my room only really has the one big window, and I try to film here. It's really good for drawing, it's good natural light, but as for filming, it causes a lot of shadows, and it's just not the best to show progress. And unlike when I make sketchbook videos where I can just go outside and set up, it's kind of hard to do that with painting because it's way more materials and water, and also it's a bigger thing. It's not like my sketchbook, which is pretty small, so I would have to angle my phone at a certain angle, and I'm not comfortable doing that. So this is what we have so far. I didn't really have a plan when I made this. I kind of just went with it as I went along. I went on Pinterest and I saw a sword, and I've drawn swords a lot before, so I thought that would be pretty easy, and it just kind of happened. And because I had so much fun painting this one, the other ones just kind of happened through that. I then painted this one, and I sort of, before I started painting this one, since I made the sword, I didn't want to just screw up and go willy-nilly with all of the other ones, and I was watching a mythology documentary, and so I sort of based them very loosely on mythology concepts that I really enjoy. Since I was watching the documentary and they were talking about Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, I decided to do one that said "Answer the Call," and it had a horn. At first, I really didn't like where this one was going, and that's kind of when I decided I just wasn't going to film the process, because with painting, for me, it is very different than when I am doing a sketchbook. With painting, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. After that one, I actually did this one simultaneously with the other one, and I went back and forth, but I finished this one first. This one's a skull that says "Waste Not." What that means, I don't know, but I thought it looked cool.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
And then I made this one. This one says "Know thyself" because I really like that quote from Greek mythology. And originally it looked absolutely nothing like this. It was just supposed to be a glass bottle that kind of looked like a potion. It was supposed to glow. And I did not like the colors that I used for it. It was driving me absolutely insane. So I tried to incorporate red because I realized that I had red in all of the other paintings, and it just became this. So I like to think that they're connected, especially since I painted them at the same time. I realized that since I was making it up as I went along, that I had essentially 4 non-master copy paintings, even though that was my original plan. And I wanted one that was a landscape, because that one was easier for me to do at the moment instead of focusing on doing one that was me. And I ended up merging a background painting from The Last Unicorn and a background painting from Sleeping Beauty, because those are my favorite background paintings. And I think it came out pretty nice. I really love the way that the purple looks on this one, and I'm thinking of incorporating that into the other paintings just a little bit to tie it all together, because the colors I think are pretty good as a whole. Almost immediately after recording all of that, everything got pretty hectic again. I had a job that involved me having to drive with my family pretty much 2 hours away down south so that I could work on a mural, and it was really fun. The drive down there was actually really gorgeous, but I did get lost once. That's beside the point. I didn't get to really take any footage of the project we were working on, mainly because it was my first day, and I didn't want to record something that wasn't even finished. If you guys want to check that out, you guys can check out Colectivo Moriviví on Instagram, because they make really good work, and I'm really happy to be working with them. But like I said, it was down south, which meant that I would basically have to drive over there for 2 hours, work for a few hours again, and then drive back home. So I obviously didn't get much work done on my personal stuff that weekend. And then pretty much immediately after that was Thanksgiving. I also got news that I got accepted into a specific convention that I was hoping to do in February. So I'm kind of focusing on whether or not I'm going to make new things or if I'm going to print things soon, you know, doing inventory and all that. And so any free time that I ever had this past month has been painting any of these canvases while watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the 90s one, or watching random historical costuming videos on YouTube. And when I was considering just quitting and not finishing my end goal of the month, I watched this Rachel Maxey video.
Life is short, so decorate your space like a queue line at Disneyland.
So this is the only footage that I have of working on those pieces, and these are the finished ones so far. And the same day that I recorded this, we ended up taking my grandma out to a concert to celebrate her birthday.
Okay, so it is the 28th, which means that I only have 2 days to finish all of my little paintings before the end of the month, because I gave myself a set goal that I would finish my little wall before December, because I want to do other things in December and I don't want to think about this anymore, and I want to cover up that wall because it's making me insane. So I have paintings now. Basically, I already said it, I was going to make 3 big ones. And with the 3 big ones, I ended up choosing very specific paintings to redo. So there's this one, which so far is actually my favorite, I think, because of the colors. There's this one, which is the first one that I did. Took a while. And then there's this one, which I literally finished yesterday, but I don't know if it's finished, because I think there's some things that could be better, but I don't know if I care enough to do it. Right? So I based this one off of a very specific painting, and I really like that painting, but the colors don't really work for me. So usually when I do a sort of master copy, or I base something off of an actual painting, I try to think about what colors I would actually change if I had to. And for me, I was like, it's too pink. It's not gonna match anything else of any of the other paintings I have. So I ended up going with blue. And I think the color's really pretty, and I do really like this painting, but she's too skinny. I think she's too skinny. That's not me. And I like my paintings to look like me, but I think I focus too much on like the folds in the actual painting that I sort of lost track of what my reference photo of myself look like. And so I think she looks too skinny, and I think the arm looks a bit wonky, but not enough for you to be like, oh, that's terrible anatomy. I think I could pass it off as a style choice, because at the time it was. My only other thing is, I do think it looks like me, but it looks like me from a certain angle. It looks like mirror me, whereas this one looks like photo me, you know what I mean? And so I feel like they look like two different women, but they are me. I don't know how else to explain that. This one, on the other hand, I do think she very much looks like me, but there's something off. And they don't have to be perfect. Once again, this is for my bedroom, and it's me. It's not a commission, it's me. And I called this one finished. This one is finished. I might maybe add some other colors to this one because it looks really dark compared to my other paintings. But they all look like me, just different versions of me, and I don't know how to feel about that. It is, at least I think it's cohesive. Then also, like I said, I think there's some space when I did my little mock-up for me to do 2 tiny ones, and I'm not going thrifting anytime soon, so I ended up just taking the display print that I made for Comic-Con last year, the ones that I thought matched the wall the most. I know it's really glossy. I'll post a better picture. But I made a little frame, and I used the same gold paint that I used to make the little edges of these look like frames, and I think they're pretty. They're really glossy right now, but I think they're pretty. I don't know, I also considered, after making these, I considered adding 3D elements to the paintings for like the frame part of it, but 1, that felt like too much work, and 2, I looked into it because I do have like some fake jewels and stuff, but they looked cheap, so I don't know. I'm probably not gonna do that. I have a bunch of stuff to do today, so I think I'm going to do that, and if I have time, I'm gonna try to sort of add color to this, probably with just Posca pens. I don't want to pull out the painting materials again. I already cleaned it. And we're gonna set up my gallery wall officially. It is the same day, but later, and I just spent the entire time after lunch putting up the paintings because I did some little finishing touches with the Posca pens, and I decided that it's over. I can't keep working on this anymore, and I'm done, and I win.
I ended up putting all of them next to each other and then trying to figure out what colors were the most used in all of them to try to bring in colors to the ones that I thought were a bit lacking. Like I added red to the hair here to unify it with the other ones, and I think it's really nice. And time for the reveal.
So yeah, it is pretty much done. I'm finished. I can call this project the end. I always say that this is an ongoing project for myself. I will not rest until I've covered up every inch of this room, or we have to move or something, because it keeps me sane. So besides the little space that doesn't really have anything right now, because I'm hoping to get some fancy new little canvases someday, or maybe just go thrifting and find something that I can put in there, the project is done, and I'm done working on paintings.
Do we admit we're lost for good? That this fog is deeper than we can ever understand? That we are but wayward leaves, scattered to the air by an indifferent wind? Can we just admit we're never gonna get back home?
And now that that's over, I did run out of tape while I was putting up all the paintings up on my wall, and now my only fear is that the ones that are mostly held up by duct tape will fall on me in the middle of the night. Maybe blind me. Maybe just give me a concussion. Maybe just give me an owie in the middle of the night, which I don't care for. So I'm gonna be vigilant for the next few days, and hopefully it'll stick. If not, that's a problem for me in the future. It's a problem for me in the future. So we'll see. I also hope that the spirit of Elijah Wood, who is very much alive, won't haunt me, because there's no way I'm finishing that other painting that I had saved up for the other side of my wall before the end of the year. Hopefully I'll have it done before next year's spooky time. But if I'm not done by next year's spooky time, I give Elijah Wood full permission to fight me. To fight me physically. He caught me slipping, and that's on me. And quick side note before I forget, if you guys actually like the little print that I have up on my wall, so like the little Spider-Man one, or the one that I like to call the Renaissance lady, but really it's just pre-Raphaelite, that's beside the point. I do have several versions of those up on my Etsy shop. I have 2 different size prints, and I have some other prints that I think are really cute that I made for last year's Comic-Con here, and I think they're really cute. And they also have bookmarks, and some of them also have sticker versions, not all of them, but some of them. If you want to see anything else that's up on my Etsy, I do also have zines that I just made. I have a fairy tales one, I have a little witch one that I made while I was designing what I was going to do for my bedroom, and I have one that's about urban legends from here in Puerto Rico that I think are really cute. Do you like my new wall? I'm gonna take that as a yes, because he cannot speak. And if he said no, it would hurt my feelings.